my name's Ashley Brooke. I'm 38 years old and I'm autistic. I have 2 children and they are both autistic also. I was nonverbal till I was 7. I went mute from 10 to 11 years old. And I'm just giving you a little background of who I am and why I'm about to talk about what I'm going to talk about. So I want to talk about ABA therapy. I, as an autistic person, just feel that I have to at least say my opinion of what I feel, because I'm autistic and I know how we process and I don't agree totally with it. So with the ABA, that is. Autistic people are very analytical and very literal, when it comes to processing information and meeting others' expectations, because they're so literal. Things can become very confusing. For example, as a child, they told me, "Here, go put that over there," or "Do this." I'd be like, "Do what?" Like, you would have to literally tell me exactly what it is, and where I'm going, and and if you want me to, like, for example, my mother told me, bring me that cup. If she were to say, go pick up, if she were to say, get that cup, I wouldn't know that she meant, like, to give her that cup. I would have just got the cup and then stand there like, okay, now what? And you'd have to be very detailed. Like, you'd have to say, like, pick up that cup that's on the mantle. Tell me exactly where it's at too. Like, tell me the location also. Pick up the cup on the mantle in the living room and bring it back to me. I needed details. It's going to be confusing with ABA with the whole do this. Also, I don't think that it was really thought out, thought through. There are different, cohort effects, like different, class of people, different races, different, different culture, and different customs. For example, I'm Hispanic, and very big on respect and manners and etiquette. I'm Spanish record, and so I teach my children to don't take the toy away from your brother. If he has it first. Don't just grab things. Ask for permission. Ask. Say please. Say thank you, and say you're sorry, and I teach my children that, and it creates a good foundation, to keep things positive, to keep them happy, to give them a guideline, so that everything runs smoothly, everybody feels respected, and loved. And when an ABA therapist comes in and tells the children, give me that, that's mine. All those are yours, but this one's mine. And it's like, wait, whoa, it's very rude. Like, you didn't ask the child first, like, please, can I have one? That's what they should be doing. Please, can I have one? I don't have any toys to play with. I wish I had one. You have all those. You think I can play with one? That will allow the child to, think, solve a problem, teach them empathy, and teach them how to problem solve and to also share. I feel like ABA is a very lazy way of a lazy approach, and that's because their objective is not to help or encourage an autistic child to think for themselves or to problem solve. They don't want us to think at all. They don't want us, to, mess up the world with our, innovative, analytical processing. They want it to stay the way that it is. And I don't think that it's the actual therapist. I think that it's a practice, and I think that's controlled by, the way that society sees autism. And for me, that's a problem. It's also a problem because it can be confusing, and it also contradicts, my teachings to my children. It's not respecting the virtue of the home, what the mother or father is installing in their children, the teachings and the culture and the, basically the guidelines and rules in the house. I tell my children, don't just pull toys out of anyone's hand, don't just take things without asking. We don't take what doesn't belong to us, we don't take without asking. If you hurt someone's feelings, say sorry. And maybe a therapist tells them, give me that's mine. You can have this is mine, with a stern voice, and it's like, excuse me, I raised my children to not get bullied, to not make someone feel, not let somebody make them feel like, belittled, And so I think that kind of, affects a child's emotional development, how they see themselves as an individual. Some of you might say, oh, well, they don't talk yet, they don't understand. They're children, they need to listen to adults. Or when your child sees themselves, will carry them the rest of their life. So, and I know when I was a child with autism, now I'm an adult with autism, but when I was a child, things were very confusing, and it can, and because we're so different, and because the world's always like, you're different, we hear things all the time on the daily, what's wrong with you, you're not smart, we're totally like, I would say like, yeah, we're sort of belittled on the daily. So I have a therapist come in here and kind of boss them around with that whole mentality of like, I'm a parent, like that parent mentality, like, oh, because I said so. Don't think, just do it. It's like telling the child, don't think why you're doing it. So next time you're in a situation, you won't know why or how to respond rationally, or with proper boundaries, and you basically, in that situation, if you're teaching them not to think, just do, that means that when they're not around a therapist or with your parent and they're in the world, they're gonna go through peer pressure a lot easier. They're gonna get anxiety and just do out of like, autopilot, sort of like trying to keep up with the world and do what's expected, that they're just not going to process thought, it's called heuristics, it's a thinking strategy that is supposed to speed up decision making. But when you use it with complex situations, like when other people are involved and engaging other people in conflict, it results in cognitive errors in their judgment, and they do things that are unsafe. They will become targets for perpetrators and people that want to take advantage of them. And I don't think that's a good start on teaching your autistic child, how to deal with the world, especially because of all the differences, and I know firsthand that, in my younger years, I was very kind, and people would try to target me, They thought I was stupid, or they thought that I wouldn't speak up for myself, or they thought they could say things and I didn't pick up on it, and I totally did. And unfortunately, in a perfect world, it would be, okay, they're just trying to teach us and it's a safe place to be where somebody can trust them. That's not the world. And because we're so literal, and we need to prepare them for the world. They need to think for themselves. They need to know what's unsafe and when someone's, there needs to be a proper etiquette and boundaries that they need to be, taught. Don't just do things because you're told to do it. And That's right. Where I think ABA therapy doesn't help with that. Giving them survival skills. You know, everybody says, "Oh, I want my autistic child to be independent and self-sufficient and be able to contribute to the community," or you say that, and then your actions tell another story. Because ABA therapy tells a child not to think, not to learn how to solve problems, and just do what you're told. Don't think about it. Just do it because you're autistic and we're normal and we're right. So just do it. Okay, and that leaves a child feeling kind of very confused, upset, and not accepted. Don't think it's good. And people go, "Oh, the kid's not thinking that." We're not autistic. Most likely, we probably are. We're very aware. We're very smart. And we think every angle of a situation can go. We really are thorough, and we really process and try to figure out something that confuses us or makes us feel some type of way. We're gonna go and see well, why did that make me feel like that? Am I doing something wrong? Did they do something wrong? And they'll try to solve the problem. We're very obsessive when it comes to that type of stuff. So that can cause a child to either just giving up and doing whatever you're saying, which can be dangerous later, when they're alone, or it could make them very angry, and just because they don't speak doesn't mean that they're not highly intelligent. Probably more intelligent than you. When I say you, I mean in general, society. Very, very, very intellectual. We don't mix with emotional or any type of how do you want to say, we don't participate in anything that is too I would say emotional or influenced by anyone else. So we're very concrete thinkers, and we're very straight to the point. We're very much about facts. So that's very confusing for somebody that thinks this way. And I think it's really important. And also language, because we're very literal. Don't make jokes oh, I know you want to play. When if the child's having a meltdown because they don't want to be forced to do something, probably it's having a sensory overload. They don't agree with it because why? Because they are thinking about what's happening to them right there and I think they'll totally disrespected and not treated equally. It's unfair and it's hurtful for a child with autism, any child really. But I'm just saying, we feel. I know I did as a child that this is because I'm different, isn't it? And it's not a good feeling, trust me. And I've had a therapist tell one of my kids, I know you want to play, but she said, I know you want to play, but we have to do work. You're not going to like me. I'm going to be a meanie. I have to be a meanie because I'm your therapist. And I'm just I didn't want to be rude, but I was I know the person's nice, but you have to be very careful what you're saying. You straight just told that kid, and they're being joking sarcastically, We don't pick up on that. My daughter, I'm almost definite that she took it oh, so the way I'm feeling is right. You know what I want, but you're gonna be mean, and that's the reason that you're doing it, to be mean. You just said it. That's how we think, that's how we process. So linguistics, my friends, linguistics. What are you saying? What does the word actually mean? Pay attention to what you're saying. Because usually we don't pick up on emotional, and social cues too much, but we do pick up on, we are big on knowing what words mean, even if we don't say a lot of words, we know what they mean, and that's how we piece, everything together to, learn social communication skills textbook. That's how we are able to go high mask. I don't want my daughter to learn how to high mask, how to negative simulation and feeling, different in a bad way, something's wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with my daughter, nothing wrong with my son. And I know that's not how the therapists are thinking. It's just the practice is not, they didn't really think it through. People need to be more efficient, especially when it comes to children, and I just think it's a lazy approach, because it's like, you just want them to act, what makes society feel comfortable, and that's not respecting, us as individuals, it's not accepting our differences, it's so horrible. It's just sort of like, just do what you're told. Don't, don't you be teaching them how to, be innovative and to, we're very big on like rules and like information. An autistic child can learn more efficiently if you just tell them what it is you're want them to do, and the reason why, and why it's good for them. An autistic child is going to respond more positively if you explain it to them. My son Ozzy's nonverbal, and I explain things to him, and he understands, and he will do what I say, and I constantly, we constantly need that reassurance of like, and reminder, like, remember, we're doing this because, I want you to be healthy, because I love you. You have to, because the stigma of society is very heavy for us as autistic, people, and it wouldn't hurt for you to remind them of, what your intentions are. So, we're intelligent. Even if you're doing it wrong, if you were to express that because you love them, they might be more, humanizing to when you take away their individuality. And as children, when they get older and become adults, they may realize, you didn't know any better, and be, nicer, and it won't affect their self-esteem as much. So that's just what I think about ABA. My daughter has been taking in ABA, and they mean well and nice people, but my daughter's been very, since she started taking it, it started okay at first, and then later on she's been very like hyperactive, but like very emotional, frustrated, and they say well, it's part of the process. They're learning to, they're adapting to the rules and the change, and it's like, that's pretty much describing like someone that's, being abused or being held, outside their rights, as a person, is to, they're gonna feel uncomfortable, they're gonna put up a fight, but eventually they'll give in and allow, and obey, what we tell them. I don't think it's right. I don't think that they thought it through, and I don't think that they're really thinking about it the way I'm describing it. But I don't care what you meant to do. What did you do, and what's happening, and how is, how are we processing that, and how do we feel? I have a good example is like one day I had my sister, and she called my son a Chino. My son's Filipino, right? And I told her, hey, don't call my son a Chino. And she's like, why? It means China man, Chinese man. I said, that is used as a term, it's known that when someone's being disrespectful to an Asian, they'll call them, a Spanish culture will call them Chino. It's belittling. It's just like, Chinaman. It's not a person, it's just a Chinaman. It's very, it's very, mean. I feel like it's cruel, it's disrespectful. And she's like, oh, well, that's not what it means, so I'm right. Like, he is a Chino. And I said, first off, even if you believe that you're right, the fact that I said it makes me feel this way, you should have still said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way, let me rephrase that, I didn't mean it like that, but, and that is the definition, but okay, I'm sorry, I'll say it in a different way. That's exactly what I'm saying about, like, it's a good example of, the way people that don't understand autism treat us, and it's like, we try to express how it feels for us, and how, why we don't like it, and neurotypicals usually are like, oh, well, you're crazy, or that's not right. You have problems communicating and socializing, so what do you know? And they're just so like, where, this is right, you're wrong. I don't like that mentality. I think it's very low class, and it's very, I would like to live in a world where neurotypicals and autistic people can work together and organizationally learn, and I don't think that we should be dumbing autistic people down. I don't like being dumbed down. As an autistic person, it's more frustrating, especially when you know that you are intellectually, gifted, and everyone else is like, no, you're stupid. Have you guys ever seen The Twilight Zone? When there's an episode where when this girl has like a pig nose, a little pig face, and no, I'm sorry, everybody has a little pig face, a little pig nose, and this one woman doesn't have it, and she's like beautiful, but everyone around her is like, oh, you're hideous, and they want to like give her surgery or something like that and give her a pig nose. I was like, that's what it goes like being autistic. It's like, why are you trying to tell me there's something wrong with me? I was like, there's something wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's very what the heck? Nothing wrong with me. Every innovative person of all time. Einstein, was it Leonardo da Vinci, Picasso, I think Mozart. Was it Tesla? What's her name? Is it Temple Grandin? Like everybody that's thought outside the box, very innovative, and like did the world some good, some good change. They were all autistic. So why are you trying to dumb down our analytical thinking process? That's really not a smart move for yourself, because we're the ones that make it happen, Captain. So I'm just not for the ABA. My daughter takes the ABA right now because, of course, they're like, oh, she needs to get services. They're not meeting their needs. So that's what they think. That's what they're trying to label me as. Though the state, still hasn't given my son medical insurance. I moved in on April 27th to San Diego, changed everything with the county and everything, and there's an issue with the state that his social security number mixed up, and so services have been delayed because of the state. Yeah, the state trying to come at me and be like, hey, we didn't give any insurance, but why isn't any of the services in place? So now they're all like trying to be all weird about it, backwards thinking and harassment, if you ask me. Don't get me started on that. So that's what I think about ABA, you guys. I just don't think it's really thought out through, and it doesn't help an autistic child think and solve problems. It doesn't help them understand social cues or social, situation. It's just like a dog trick, and I don't think an autistic person should do something out of force, or they should help them find come to the reason that it's correct, because it benefits them more, and it's gonna it's respectful, it's really it's frustrating living in a world so different, and we're so observant and analytical, and we're very aware, and we're actually very patient and nice, understanding people, autistic people, so it's very frustrating to try to talk sense or reason, or trying to help somebody understand, and they're just like, no, you're wrong. That person doesn't understand. It's like, no, you're the only one not understanding. Yeah, so that's what I have to say about that. We should be encouraging every child to learn and process their emotions and thoughts, and it's like, don't just teach them how to behave in public. Don't just teach the child how to make the parents' day less stressful, or make the teacher less uncomfortable. That's only addressing an issue, and that's the issue that you have with us. What about their emotional development? What about their what about their mental health? It's very sad. They're only considering one aspect, and that's theirs. How they feel about it. that's such a like adolescent like thinking process, you know, like mentality. What about us? You know? They're like, who? Me. I'm right here. Can you see me? Can you see me yet? You know? You'll have to file a class action lawsuit against the state, you know? I'm sorry if I say it like that, but we've tried every way, trying to make everybody understand. They're not listening. They're not caring. Yeah. That's a very sad situation. I'm still fighting these, you know, discrimination issues today. And something needs to change. So, I know it started about ABA, but I mean, this is our life here. I would hope that every autistic adult out there that sees this, you know, we're growing by the number, you know, the population of autistics, and we need to like come together, you know. We need to stand up and we need to correct things that are incorrect, and especially for younger autistic. You know, remember how it felt when you were young and it wasn't accepted, and people were, you know, treating us different and not fair. And especially if you were nonverbal. I was nonverbal, and I felt that it's my moral obligation to stand up and speak, because now I'm able to, and I know what it's like to not speak and people treat you this way. And so, yeah, I'm speaking for nonverbals, you know, until they can, you know, get there. And I feel that it is very important for everybody to come together and say something that, you know, we can stand, you know, and address the state, and, you know, with funding, with housing, with the super long delay just to get a service started. It's like, oh, we have to wait and wait. It's like, this is important now. You know, it's not enough support, not enough resources, not enough awareness, and not enough acceptance, you know, and not enough opportunity, you know, equal opportunity in my butt, you know, equal opportunity for an autistic person. You know, we're shunned pretty much, you know, even by our own families, we're shunned. It's a sad situation. You know, I'm a big Christian, and I, you know, I believe that, you know, I believe that we can come together, and I believe that, you know, God will back us, you know, because it's the right thing to do. You know, me coming out and saying this while she's already trying to mess with me and harass me, is a bold move on my part. I will agree. They could, you know, turn any angle and try to take my kids away because I'm autistic, and they can say, oh, yeah, you can't meet their needs, blah, blah, blah. You know, they can totally do a spin on this if they wanted to. They have the power. But it's just so unjust that I can't keep quiet. You know us, you know, my autistic fellows out there, you know how we do. I can't stand quiet when something's unjust and it's not correct. It's like, can't compute. You know, I must fix it. And so yes, to all you autistic, you know, people out there like myself, you know, get more involved with what's going on in the autism community. Get more involved for standing up for our rights. Get more involved, you know, when it comes to child welfare. Get involved for, you know, disability rights. You know, we're not getting treated fairly, and children are getting overlooked, and it's super unjust, and it's inhumane. You know, and something has to be done. We have to speak up. I know it's not, you know, for all of us, you know, not every autistic person likes to be, you know, controversial or stand up and, you know, say what's, you know, wrong. You don't want to deal with that type of situation. But you know what? If you can't do it, you know, for yourself, because you have some sort of, you know, self-esteem issue or emotional issue, you know, this is necessary. This is survival. This is that's for the future. This is for the later generations of autistic people. Like, we have to stand together. We have to speak up. Like, I always wondered why. I didn't talk because I would never talk. And and when I started seeing the unjust situations that I grew up in, something just put it. It's God. I believe it was God. Put it in me. Just I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something. And now I see why. Now I see why. God gave me a voice. Because something needs to be done. Somebody needs. Like, I think we should. Fight for our rights. And I'm not saying aggressively. And all this, like, nobody wants to deal with the behaviors, or like they always say, oh, some autistic people are aggressive, or males with autism are aggressive. Yeah, when the freaking pharmaceutical companies and doctors push all these meds on them, and then they hit puberty and they can't help it but become aggressive. The number one cause of suicide, the highest, like, statistics say that the biggest population of suicide comes from autistic teenagers. Out of drug addicts, out of DV situations, out of every type of situation in the world. Autistic teenagers are the ones that are killing themselves the most. That's baffling. That right there should show you that there's something wrong. Definitely something really wrong. And what I just don't understand is why. We know the statistics. We know the facts. We have the internet. How come nobody's saying anything? How are we all just turning our head like we don't realize that there's a serious issue? There's lives being lost, children's lives. It's just, that's not a world I want to live in. I'd rather live my whole life fighting to change that than to do what's convenient and just worry about just me. Let me go fight for my resource and get what I need and I'm good. No. One day I'm gonna die and my two autistic children are gonna be in this world without me. I would like to think that, that we've changed by that time. Because that devastates me. To leave my innocent, good quality, individuals that are my children. Leave them in this world. And guys, we have to do something. There needs to be more awareness. I really hope that you guys watch this video, reach out to me, please. I don't know all the, legal, terms, or not yet. I will be researching. I've never followed this strongly, I just can't help but feel it every day. And I know that I can't be the only one going through this. Enough of us, come together. They're gonna have to listen. They're gonna have to see us. The majority of suicides is autistic teenagers and young autistic adults. Did you know that autistic people and teenagers are twice as likely to become alcoholics or addicted to a substance? Did you know that? You wouldn't think so, right? Nobody talks about it. It's true. That's because of the stigma of society, the way the world treats us. That's unacceptable. We're all smart individuals, all of my autistic community. We are very intelligent. It's time to put our heads together. It's time to make a stand and do something about it. Enough is enough. Please subscribe to my channel and please comment on what you think about what I'm saying and reach out. You know, this is God's work. Thank you.